Opening mics now. Mics are hot.
Welcome back, LSR TV coverage of the Northwestern Truck Series. Greg Rentz Wesley Outland qualifying has concluded, and we are set now for the starting lineup for this next round of the series here at Auto Club Speedway. Again, the field behind the toe of the pace car. Jeff Stabnow, fast qualifier in the number 24 entry, 41.749 seconds. Dennis Moore will make up row number 1. Devin West in the 5 and the 33 of Dean Moore, row number 2.
Kevin Smith rounds out the top 5, and boy, that 00 has been very strong in qualifying, Wesley. We'll see how it transfers over to the race, but he's got a very hungry hound who is outside Dan West Jr. in the 55, always a threat. Stephen O'Hare and William Fletcher make up row number 4, with rounding out the top 10, Caden Anderson, who missed the driver's meeting, just barely made qualifying, coming up 9th, and Carl Burke, who many people would say is due for a good run. He rounds out the top 10, Wesley.
There you go. Making up the rest of the rundown includes Roy Grande in the number 18 entry starting 11th. Ryan Maines in the 13 will start 12th as we look at the rest of the rundown. 13th, Dan Stussy in the 78th, and James Vining. He better lock up the cat, stow it away. The 333 will start 14th.
Hey, I'm not the one that went there this week with James Vining. John Ottenbacher, the LSR TV Chevy, will roll off in the 15th. Steve Allison in the 16 round spot. Rounding out the trucks that qualified is Chris White. Provisionals for Corey Walters, Tyler King, Ray Fournier, Scott Hutchinson, Rick Heffley, Tom Green, and Frank Harris. Wesley, we are getting set. Wesley, we're racing for 134 laps.
It's time to roll here. Let's see what happens. Ready for this event to come for a start. Down the front straightaway, it's Moore and Stabnow right alongside one another. The Northwestern Truck Series at Auto Club. Green flag here, 200 miles, 134 laps, and Stabnow gets the early jump into turn 1.
Stabnow with a good jump into turn number 1. No surprise, he's been one of the hottest drivers in the circuit right now. Look at Dan West getting down to the bottom and he is and the 33. Dennis and Dean Moore out there on track for the first time tonight, but two very good qualifying efforts. 4th and the charts are starting up on the front row, but give lap one.
Opening lap. Give it to Stabnow. He's the man leading the way. You got West and West. Whatever problems that we saw Dan West have in the 55 truck on the early going now, he's moved up to 2nd and 3rd, and he's starting to make a run on Sun West as they go into turn number 3 there, Greg.
Yeah, we'll see how he can go, and he's going to show us that he's going right to the front, going right to the a bobble, though, from Dan West Jr. And I wonder if he threw one setup on like we talked about possibly doing, because that truck looked evil and and here it is. Come race time, he is ready to go, and he has just blown his son's doors off going for the second spot. He gets it, and Dan West Jr. putting the pressure on Stabnow early for the lead, but I gotta say, I'm very impressed with Dennis and Dean Moore right now so far, doing a good job hanging in there in their two Chevy Silverados, 4th and 6th right now. Dean under a little bit of pressure though from Stephen O'Hare, the winner at Texas earlier this season.
Yeah, what an impressive run for Stephen O'Hare again in that 41 machine as this race continues on. It's Stabnow. Stabnow went on a streak for the Truck Series where he won 2 in a row at Charlotte, and I believe it was also Pocono. I believe it was a dominating performance for the driver in that number 24 truck, and now you have West and West with great performances for them as well, as we're still in the early going of this thing. And Fletcher, another driver that I don't think we've ever mentioned before for the Northwest Truck Series, or at least I haven't, right now sitting in the top 5.
Wesley, he also so strong in the Truck Series and has such strong starts in the 28, but the luck is just not there for the 28, and hopefully the 28 for him to transition to Ford is what cures that. But speaking of, we've got the 50, of Dan West Jr. He's Dan West strong. He led that lap as he got a run to the inside, going into side by side with Jeff Stabnow. How many times have we seen Dan West Jr. and Jeff Stabnow trading the lead here in this series? New leader, Dan West Jr. in the 55. Watch the crossover.
Watch that crossover. We'll see if something changes with now Dan West out in front leading the way. West with problems, struggling in practice, and now in qualifying, he has put it in the race at P1. Stab now turning back around and getting the lead back away. 58 thousandths of a second, the interval at the stripe. Lap 6 of 134 here at Auto Club in the early going.
Such good racing here early on between Jeff Stabnow and Dan West Jr. to the all-time best and entering best. Devin West. Dan's son putting pressure on. He just got around his father, and he wants the lead from Jeff Stabnow. Take a peek there, and he might have gotten a little bit upset being up in that dirty air behind the 24 because that allows Dan to get a run on his son. But Devin able to drive deep into turn number 3. He's taking a shot now at the lead.
Watching them as they make their way off of turn number 4, almost 3 wide for the lead as they come across the stripe. It's West, Stabnow, West, 1, 2, and 3. Moore, O'Hare, they're all there. Right there to the outside, peeking to the inside. Stabnow under attack for that spot by Dan West, who is inside in 1.
Devin West leading the way, but Dan West Jr. following suit with Jeff Stabnow. 2 Chevys and a Ford leading the way here at Auto Club. Creeping into the picture a little bit with that battle breaking out. Dennis Moore in the 34 qualified second is beginning to close in on this battle with them fanning out side by side, as well as Stephen O'Hare. He has cracked the top 5, trying to chase down Dennis Moore right now in the 34, but Moore is closing in on Stabnow. This may be a 5-truck battle before too long.
5 trucks now trying to nestle and pull away from 6th on back and fight for the lead and go back single file as that freight train roars back to the inside. One thing we talked about early in the going for this race is we're on lap 8 of 134 here in this 200-miler at Auto Club Speedway. Greg, is the fact that precision banking, they have that here at Auto Club, and that means you're allowed to go several lanes of racing. We're going to see if anybody can take advantage of it right now. They're going to the middle, they're going to the top, they're going to the bottom. Everything right now of why Auto Club is such a very widely known 3, 4, 5 wide racetrack with precision banking happening here in the early going.
And that's just what leads to this incredible racing we see at this track. 4, sometimes 5 wide at this track. We compare this track to Michigan. It's a twin sister to the Michigan International Speedway, and it produces very similar racing, but this surface is a little bit different than Michigan, Wesley. That's the difference between the two, is this racing surface is just so bumpy compared to Michigan. You can see it going down the backstretch. The trucks are just bopping around on the backstretch. They call it the hospital bobble sometimes, and it just shows you how different the tracks are, but in the similarities as well. It's all about who can manage that bumpy surface a lot, but those bumps take a toll on the tires. And Wesley, our producer, Cody, told us before the race about 31, 32, 34 laps
That's right.
on tires with a few extra laps of fuel. So that's something you got to keep an eye on here in this early stages. We're already 10 laps into this one, so the tires are definitely beginning to fall off here already. Leader Devin West has dropped off 0.6 of a second from his qualifying time. Father Dan only 0.4 of a second, but the follow-up is already beginning.
Yeah, that's one of the things we talked about was obviously this battle for position as they continue to come across the line, but is that green flag run. If they go green flag, 31, 35 laps for tires and fuel between that number, and that's right now where we're looking at lap number 11. And one of the things that is common here, in reality, virtual here at iRacing for this eSports coverage on LSR TV of the Northwest Truck Series, is bottom line, we might see the long green flag run. Normally, caution flags are not a premium here at Auto Club Speedway. And again, as we are working to lap 11, nobody has caused the yellow flag to come out yet. So, and when the cautions do fall, it normally is for a late race caution, Greg.
Yeah, we've seen it time and time again. Cautions tend to breed cautions, but if you can get a long green flag run, it can be a nice long green flag run. 2 trucks have taken it behind the wall and retired from the race so far. Wesley, the 91 of Scott Hutchinson is going to complete 7 laps. Carl Burke in the 53 will complete 10 laps. Those are the first 2 trucks out of the race. 21 trucks remaining on the track right now. Ray Fournier in the 26 did not start.
Yeah, tough break there for Ray Fournier in the number 26 machine, unable to even answer the call to take the green flag. So again, Hutchinson Burke behind the wall, several laps down as they are exiting and calling it a race. We're working lap number 12 of 134. The Northwestern Truck Series presented by Waltz Beard Co. here tonight on LSR TV from Auto Club Speedway. It's again West, Stabnow, O'Hare, and Moore, your top 5, and they go roaring back into turn 1.
I'm just so impressed right now with Dennis from Dean Moore right now in the 34 and 33 trucks. Wesley, me and you hadn't even heard of these guys until we saw their names on the list. We were like, who is this?
Who are they?
And all of a sudden, Dennis Moore was second on the charts in practice, second in qualifying, and here he is running in the top 5 early. These are 2 guys who we've never heard of before, but they are very, very impressive here in the early going.
Yeah, I was thinking of that song, Who Are You, for sure. So we'll watch it as they make their way around the racetrack, continuing along. It's, again, West. And what the West family, Dan West and Devin West, right there in the 5 and 55. Devin West, a strong truck in the 5, and then we saw Dan West struggle in his LSR TV number 55 entry, and then he turned around, Greg, and he's come out of nowhere, and it's like maybe the truck wasn't set up for the handling of qualifying. He's ready for race trim, and I'm wondering if we're seeing that right now as he's in second.
Yeah, he may have just gone with the race trim setup for qualifying, where Devin may have had a separate setup for qualifying, but no surprise here. The West family racing trucks very, very strong right now. They are leading the way. Dan West Jr. getting the lead back. I believe that's his second lap led today as Devin now goes to work trying to chase him down. Good run off turn number 2 for Devin. He's going to get right up on the tailgate of Dan, and here comes Devin with a shot back to the bottom.
Watching him as they exit off the corner to the inside. Father and son battle for the lead here at Auto Club on lap number 15. Son of the lead. Still at the stripe. Father trying to close in on him in the West show in 1 and 2. And they're pulling away from Stabnow.
Yeah, Stabnow falling off the pace of the leaders right now. 1.6 seconds. He actually gained a tenth of a second there, but that's because of the side-by-side battle. Stephen O'Hare, another second back, and then Dennis and Dean Moore. Can tell you they're baseball fans, Wesley. I've gotten that figured out because Dennis is running an Atlanta Braves truck right now. Dean Moore is running the defending World Series champion Washington Nationals truck, so got that much figured out.
I'm a Braves fan.
I'm a Dodgers fan. So
there you go.
World Series is a touchy subject for the last couple of years.
Woo, I know.
2017, with a team that shall not be mentioned.
And probably one of the greatest broadcasters of all time in baseball from your Dodgers realm, Vin Scully. I always enjoyed listening to Vin Scully call a baseball game for the LA Dodgers. Definitely one of the best.
One of the main reasons I got into announcing would be Vin Scully.
Yes, sir. One of the best. One of the only guys that I could ever know to call a radio baseball game and be solo and not have to have a sideline reporter or a color. He can do it on his own. So West, that is the driver of Devin West, the young man leading the way. They're the leaders, 1 and 2. Dan West, daddy, right there in the number 2 spot, working lap 17 of 134. Hey, sponsors are important, so we're going to step away real quickly and thank some of them. If we're in a green flag run, everybody playing nice in the early going of the Waltz Beard Co. Northwest Truck Series from Auto Club Speedway. We'll be back in just a moment on LSR TV.
We only have one other commercial, then we're about to play it, so.
Copy that.
Who are you? Now that's stuck in my head. I'm serious. I wish we didn't.
3 nights of racing, 4 live events, all live on Speedways. Speed
Yeah,
pass.
that's not what I meant to play, but
It's all good.
Our tracks are starting to reopen. I have actual